Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Peacemaker. So the episode starts with Hardcore and Peacemaker of the main universe having a discussion while security comes to go get them. So basically she's explaining to him like, how did you not notice all the clear signs that are here? And he's like, there's not clear signs. She's like, the flags? He goes, if you look quickly, they look like regular flags. The books, he goes, when have you ever seen me pick a book up? And then she was, what about the huge mural on the wall? And it's about the size of the wall, and all of a sudden it's just a picture of Hitler, um, being extremely present. And he goes, oh, it's really tough to miss. And then they escape, which I thought was very interesting in my mind. So they escape. They get downstairs. He uses his jetpack. However, with Hardcore on it, he's unable to control it properly. Smacks into the wall a bunch, smashes into a car. The two of them get up and get on the peace cycle and get out of there, being chased by police. So then we have Economos being taped up in a chair. Um, and while this is going on, Keith is chasing after Adebayo, and he gets a call from his dad, and he's like, "What? I'm trying to catch one that escaped." And he's like, "There's more important things. Get over here." And so he leaves to go see his dad, and she begins to run away from the crowd. She sneaks into the backyard of one of these places to avoid because now they're trying to pinch her in. So she's able to jump into over the fence of somebody's backyard, sees a pool, sees that she should swim to the other side to get to the back fence to get to, I'm assuming, the woods. And that's kind of her plan. So she goes to start swimming. All of the Nazis are trying to swim after her as well. She then gets pulled up by none other than Judo Master, who pulls her up out of there and then uses a telephone wire to then electrocute the pool, which kills everyone in the pool, and the two of them escape to go to an abandoned house to discuss further. We then have the two vigilantes talking, and our vigilante explains that after finding out that the Nazis won the World War II, that that he has a friend who is black, and he said, "Oh, we need to find her now, or else before she gets captured." So the two of them leave. So we then have Judo Master and Adebayo basically talking about life in general and how he doesn't understand how she could be friends with Peacemaker, and she's kind of just like, Peacemaker did rub me off the wrong way, but when you actually get to know him, he really is a nice guy, an idiot, but a nice guy. Um, and I thought that was very interesting because it was one of those things where she didn't let him insult him. She didn't let Judo Master continue to degrade him completely. But he's like, he's how could he be this stupid and not realize that this is a problem? And she's like, well, I never said he was smart. Like he is stupid, but he is a good guy deep down. And it kind of made Judo Master change his mind a little bit. So then the two of them decide to go leave and figure out where they're going to go next. So then we have um, Keith meet up with his dad at the house with John tied up. Basically, explain. So the dad explains to Keith like, "Hey, um, unfortunately, I think your brother's dead, and this guy took over, and this guy's with him." Now, Economos tries to play it off. He does this a lot in the episode, but fails miserably. And Keith is just like, what? He must be hardcore too, because the girl I saw today was wearing pants, and I've never seen her wear pants before. And he's like, yeah, that's weird. We better go find them quick. So the two of them suit up and go to fly off to go find him. In the interim, we have Eagly walking around, and John trying to convince him to kill both Blue Dragon and Captain Triumph. However, Eagly comes back with a string after the two of them leave, and John was not thrilled with that at all. Basically stating, like, you are useless. I asked you to do one thing. Unsuccessfully. So we have Peacemaker and Hardcore on their motorcycle getting away from the cops. However, they eventually get surrounded, unable to escape. They're trying to figure out how they're going to plan their escape. And then all of a sudden, all the vehicles of the police get blown up, and both Blue Dragon and Captain Triumph land, and Blue Dragon shoots all of them, of the cops that are trying to run away. Basically explains to them that if you want to live, you better come with us immediately. So the next scene is both Blue Dragon and Captain Triumph standing in front of both Peacemaker, Hardcourt, and John Economos. So while that's going on, we had the police come to try to figure out what's kind of going on in general. Blue Dragon basically just states like, "Hey, this is my property. Back the heck off." And he's like, "My son's not here." And he's like, "Well, that's just because you think your son's innocent." I said, "I never said my son was innocent ever. All I said was he's not here. Those are two different things." So he goes back inside. Um, Peacemaker explains exactly what happens, and Blue Dragon is kind of realizing that, oh, maybe this was an accident. And Keith was having none of it. And Blue Dragon had to continue to explain to him, like, you need to calm down. Like, we are not going to continue this violence over and over again. So then we have outside, we have the two vigilantes meet up with Adebayo and Judo Master and realizing they're going to sneak in to try to help the group. So they sneak away from the cops, and we have, in the middle of finding out that Blue Dragon is actually not a Nazi, but is trying his best to keep the peace in his world. Kind of a cop out. In the sense of when I say that, I don't mean the script was a cop out. I mean he as a character copped out in the sense of being like, I want there to be peace, but like I don't want to do the extra work to do it, like fix the whole world. Um, which I think was kind of huge in that sense because it makes him not as good of a guy. Like we already thought he wasn't a good guy, but he's like more towards a good guy in our eyes, um, but still not great. Um, while that's going on, the vigilante of the alternate universe breaks through the glass and begins to stab Blue Dragon in the throat. Then we have Captain Triumph blast a hole in the wall, and an all-out fight breaks out. So now the police are now barging in. We have the vigilantes taking out cops left and right, and they all begin to run towards, excuse me, the portal to get the heck out of there. So as they're doing this, they have to drag Economos because he's on the chair. While they're getting him out, they then begin to get everyone in there. However, before they even get the chance to fully get anybody in, we have um, Chris, aka Peacemaker, kind of just lost in space for a little bit because of what happened. Captain Triumph blasts through the wall with his jetpack, plows through Peacemaker, slams him up against the wall, begins to beat him as hard as he can, and then the rest of the group starts stabbing him and pulling him down. When Peacemaker finally cries out, just stop, thinking about his brother dying, his dad dying, both of them, and just stating that, what kind of people are we? He goes, I don't think it's the world's, I think it's me. I'm the problem. Like, I just bring death and destroy everything. And Adebayo kind of picks him up and gets him the hell out of there. Not literally, but like gets him focused enough to get out of there. And everyone leaves, including Eagly, except for Hardcourt, who orders the other vigilante to give her a gun, and she goes to kill Keith. However, the police begin to open fire. She jumps through the portal, goes to turn to shoot Keith. Unfortunately, did not have a shot. She then gets put through the portal. Vigilante kicks it shut, and the next scene we see is of Keith in the ambulance getting treated, and he's pissed. So we get back to the regular world, and everyone goes outside while Argus is there waiting, because Argus used one of Lex Luthor's minions to figure out where the portal would be. They got a direct location, they surrounded the place. However, the entire group comes out. Judo Master goes with Argus. Peacemaker throws it down, the device, and states that everyone here convinced me to give this to you, so I'm doing it, and I'm turning myself in. And he asks Judo Master if that's true, and Judo Master says, yeah, it is. And that's when Peacemaker gets handcuffed and pulled away, and he's arrested. And that was the end of the episode. So the next episode is the season finale. We are definitely going to be getting Argus going through all the different portals in there. They're going to open a portal, and then they're going to be going into all the different dimensions, and we're going to be seeing the problems with doing that. But very much looking forward to seeing all the different universes um, and pocket dimensions that we have not seen yet. But overall, we're also seeing a hint of potentially a villain for Peacemaker season 3 of none other than Captain Triumph, who could be looking to kill our friend Peacemaker. We'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.